Within my particular law firm, I was very thankful during my first year as a lawyer to be paired with a formal mentor who was a Black partner at our law firm, and just kind of being able to hear his story, from his small practice that he started off before he joined the firm, and just, what he did and what he went through and the ins and outs of the firm. Having someone like that in my corner was, I don't think words can describe how important that was, just because, when you show up to some place and you're the new guy, it's daunting. And, sometimes you don't always look like everyone else in that room either. So being able to find someone who looks like you, who has shared experiences that can be there for you, I think it goes a long way. And that really helped me.
Hello, everyone. This is Tim Brown, author of the book, Boys Won't Be Boys. And in this video series, we talk about uncommon young men and young men that are making a difference in the community as far as mentoring goes. I'm excited to have with me a good buddy, Ryan Wheeler. I've known Ryan from the good old Columbus Academy days. I know he's a proud graduate of Columbus Academy, went to Miami University and received his JD from Capital University Law School, attended there and received his, and now he's a practicing attorney in the office of Vorys, Seymour, and Pease law firm, where he's also has done a lot of work in the prosecutor's office for the Franklin County prosecutor, as well as a law clerk for the Franklin County Municipal Court. So Ryan, you've had a whirlwind of experience in law at a young age.
I have, and that was something I wanted to do. I didn't take the path straight from law school to the firm I'm at. I wanted to kind of dip my feet in the water, as they say, with a lot of different kind of areas of the law, and get, a wide range of skills and tools in my toolbox.
Yeah, sounds like it. So where did that passion for law come from? When did it hit you that, hey, I want to be a lawyer?
It's funny, when I was young, I always did public speaking. I would go to the speech meet and do, scripture readings or poetry readings, whatever, would be in the speech meet. And people always said I was a great speaker. And that started kind of translating into, well, lawyers are speakers. I want to be a lawyer. And then, I came to find out there's a lot more writing that goes into it. But honestly, since I was in 6th grade, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. And I'm always someone who wants to see my journey through. So ever since then, I've been driven to be a lawyer and actually work at a law firm like the one I'm at. So, having that goal in mind, I just kind of put my foot to the ground and got to work.
Right. Yeah. When you mentioned speech meet, I had a flashback because our children went to a Sunshine Christian Academy when they were young, and they were always in the speech meets. Speech meets, and that really gave them confidence as well. And it wasn't just memorizing a speech, but it was more to it than that. There was a meaning behind it, and I think they caught that, and it really helped propel them for what they're doing today with that confidence.
Excellent.
So you grew up. Well, you're in a family. The Wheeler name. Wheeler name is a name that's well known. Particularly, I grew up in East Cleveland, Ohio, and so I know the Wheeler name. I think your grandfather was city manager, and then he became the mayor. And I was sharing with you how your brothers ran the bank in town. It was a police officer. That Wheeler name was all over. So how was that? Talk about growing up and hearing some of those stories from a successful African American family of men.
I would say it fueled me to want to be successful. I was always raised in a household where, your goal, and you determine your success by how it compares to your parents' success and your other family members' success. And I always wanted to use that as a starting block and then want to be even better than that. And when you have people like my grandfather, my father, his brothers, my mother, my whole family, they've set the bar so high that I've always, pushed myself even harder to be able to reach half of what they've done in their lives. So I think it's given me a hard work ethic, and it's given me kind of a drive to be great at law in particular.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I talk about in the book, Boys Won't Be Boys, and I talk about protecting the family name. I tell young guys, you got to protect the name, because as men, that's all we have. When you're doing something in the community back in our day, people would ask that they wouldn't get on you. They want to know who's your people.
Right.
Who's your people? Protecting that family name. But the other thing is that we talk about in the book is adding value to the name. And I heard you kind of speak to that a little bit. Can you speak to some of the things that hit you about how to add value to the family name?
I think, like you said, you got to first realize that there is power in a name. And once you sully that name, it can take a lot to get back to what it once was. And sometimes you never can get back to it. So instead of that, I think it's important to find out, what can you do in a different community to add value to the name. You mentioned earlier that the Wheeler name is very heavily associated with Cleveland and with East Cleveland. Well, I would love to make the Wheeler name, a common name, a well-known name in Columbus. I have a lot of pride in this city. And I think being able to add value and expand, the people's knowledge of the Wheeler name beyond Cleveland and then into other cities, that's the next step. And that's what I'm trying to do here.
Wow, that's powerful. That's awesome. That's awesome. So in that, as you went through law school and education, I'm sure it's not as easy as, well, we know it's not as easy because we know the time you had to put in, but who were some of those mentors in your life that kind of came alongside and helped you in your journey to where you are today? Who were some of those male mentors?
I know it's probably a cliche answer, but I gotta first give a lot of credit to my dad and my grandfather, actually on my mother's side, who lived in the Columbus area. He recently passed away. But just having, two very, faith-driven men in my life that I could go to for anything, whether it's a personal issue, a life issue, or a work issue, or something in my schooling. Having them was such a resource, and they were always there to talk, 24 hours a day. And it would be, great. In college, you operate on a different schedule. Right. Sometimes you're pulling an all-nighter because you got to get ready for a final. And it didn't matter what hour it was. I could call my dad at any time to just talk about life with him. More professionally speaking, for me, there's just been so many figures in the Columbus area that have kind of been, almost informal mentors to me and formal mentors to me. You look at some of the great, Black politicians in Columbus and attorneys in Columbus, just seeing the path they paved, in years past, that's kind of driven me. Within my particular law firm, I was very thankful during my first year as a lawyer to be paired with a formal mentor who was a Black partner at our law firm, and just kind of being able to hear his story, from his small practice that he started off before he joined the firm, and just, what he did and what he went through and the ins and outs of the firm. Having someone like that in my corner was, I don't think words can describe how important that was, just because, when you show up to someplace and you're the new guy, it's daunting. And, sometimes you don't always look like everyone else in that room either. So being able to find someone who looks like you, who has shared experiences that can be there for you, I think it goes a long way. And that really helped me.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. Give me a couple of those gems that you remember from your dad and granddad. Give me a couple of them gems that still stick with you. Some of the things they've said that you may not have understood then, but now you get it.
A big thing is just you really need to just give off a positive perception even when you're doing work. A lot of times I feel like we can get down on ourselves with what work is throwing at us, whether it's a tough course in college or a tough assignment on the job. But if you can, kind of push through that and keep a positive mentality, that resonates with other people. I mean, people look at that and say, wow, we know Ryan has a lot on his plate, but he's able to grit through it and not complain and just get the job done. I think that sends a louder message sometimes in the quality of the work. And that's something that my dad and grandfather taught me. Another one that they both have taught me is don't be afraid to get outside your comfort zone. When it's interacting with people and when it's meeting people. I think a little bit when I was younger, I was a bit shy, and they both said, don't be afraid to reach out to people and build your network, whether it's your professional network or your social network. And really having a network is a huge key to success in the professional world. And I think without them kind of pushing me to expand my scope and the people I interact with, people outside my typical friend group or something, I don't think I would have been able to accomplish what I am accomplishing today.
Right. Oh, that's great. That's great. Having that good attitude. Coach Bill Parcells said this. He said, if you show up with a good attitude, you're 80% ahead of most people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I guess even better now. He said, if you show up with a good attitude and work hard, maximum effort, you're 85% ahead.
Right.
Now here's the caveat to all. Here's the best one. Now, if you show up, right, you got your good attitude, you give maximum effort, and you have a plan. Now you're 90% ahead of people, and it sounds like for you, there was a plan in all that, that when you show up, there's a plan.
Right.
You're not just coming to work just to come to work. There's a plan, with that good attitude. And so leading into that, I know you're at a prestigious law firm, and you already mentioned how intimidating it could be sometimes, because I've seen the firm, I've seen that big office building, the sign up, and all this. They're in about 5 or 6 different states, they have over 300 attorneys, and here you are, young Ryan Wheeler, thrown into this, So what things prepared you? What would you say prepared you for that position, for that role? What are some things you look back over your life that got you ready for this?
I'm very thankful to have had the opportunity to go to a place like Columbus Academy for high school, and then Miami for undergrad, and study in their business school, which is a very challenging business program. And then Capital is a great law school that teaches you how to be a good lawyer. It's a very practical law school. I think having that academic background really set me up to succeed, because it taught me the skills and the work ethic. Beyond that, before I came to the Vorys firm, I was an assistant prosecuting attorney, where I had a lot of autonomy and control of my own case files. I had hundreds of cases that I oversaw completely, and being able to kind of have that experience where it was just me, and I didn't depend on anyone, allowed me to build confidence as a decision maker, heading into a new work environment.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. And now you're in this role, and now you're a mentor now. You're a mentor now. Talk about the, I think it's the John Mercer Langston Bar Association mentoring program. And I guess you're the co-chair of the law student mentoring.
Correct.
Talk about that role and how that came about and where you see that role going.
The John Mercer Langston Bar Association has been around for years now. It's essentially the African American Bar Association in Columbus, and it's affiliated with the National Bar Association as well. And it's really an organization just to kind of bring Black lawyers in Columbus together. And in my capacity, I specifically work with students at Ohio State Law School and at Capital Law School to just connect them with our organization, because our organization can help guide them in the correct direction for careers, and just again offer those networking opportunities that allow law students to not get a leg up, but have the table set for them to be able to enter the work world. I kind of was really interested in this position because if you look at it, the proportion of African American lawyers it doesn't match the amount of African Americans in this country. And I want to do whatever I can to help, make it an even proportion where, there are proportionally the same amount of African American lawyers or more than there are in this country. And I think until we start investing in, our law students, our high school students, our college students, to kind of help funnel them in that direction and help them discover their passions. Not everyone's as lucky as I was to find my passion in 6th grade. Sometimes I think students need a little help driving and figuring out what they want to do. And I think this is a great position to start doing that and to start working with, students, law students, to understand what it takes to be a lawyer and how to, realize their dream.
Right. And speaking of that, there may be someone who's listening who's interested in law and being a law student or going to law school. What advice would you give them, specifically for law?
I would say definitely take value in the journey and not necessarily the destination. The path through law school can be very grueling. The application process can be grueling to get into law school. And then once you get through law school, finding that right job, a lot of people are too focused on getting to that job that they want. And once they're there, that's all they care about. It's reach the destination. But take pride in your accomplishments along the way, whether it's getting into a certain law school or taking the LSAT or, even performing well on a college or high school course that can kind of help set the table as you move along your journey. Take pride in the process, in the journey, and don't focus so much on the destination, because the destination is going to come as long as you get through the journey.
Wow, that's powerful. Now say that again. The destination is going to come as long as you get through the journey.
Right. So the destination is always going to be there at the end, but we're often so quick to rush to that destination that we lose focus of the journey, which is, your day-to-day accomplishments, your quarterly accomplishments. Each step is in itself its own smaller destination, ultimately leading to, being a lawyer and going through law school. So take pride and enjoy the journey.
Wow, that's powerful. That's well said. That's well said. Speak to gentlemen or men your age. Speak to them about how important mentoring is for this next generation, and what are some things that they can practically do to help impact the next generation.
I think it's very important just because, our generation, the young men are becoming the leaders now, and we're reaching these positions where we can actually make a difference in students' lives and in children in the community's lives. And I think it's important to realize that at a certain point, the buck stops with us. Look at my father's, reaching retirement age. I don't think he wants to worry about this sort of thing anymore. It's now on our generation because we're the ones that are, have a seat at the table. We're the ones be able to make some decisions. And I think, the more we can mentor people and be those folks in the rooms where, not everyone looks like you, I think those, encounters help motivate and help people feel comfortable with their decisions and how they're heading down, what they want to do.
Wow, that's great. That's a good word. Now, lastly, I need you to leave a word of encouragement to young men, to young fellas, how important it is to have those goals, have a plan, and to stick to it.
Right. I think my word of encouragement would just be to stay at it and don't listen to the outside interference. There are so many people in this world that will tell us we can't do something, or that, we're not good enough, or this isn't the right profession for us. Don't listen to those people, regardless of what your profession or journey is. Just listen to what you want to do and what your close family members, your mentors tell you to do, because those are the people that ultimately care about your success. You cannot rely and listen to other people who might not have that same, desire for you to succeed. Right. Just drown out the outside noise, focus on your goals, your journey, and just stick at it. Because if you do that, you will ultimately reach the destination.
Right. Well, you always go back to that destination. It all points back to that. It all points back to that. How's it been a new father? I understand you have a 2-month-old. How's daddy life?
It's going really well. It's definitely different. I've been one of those dads that from day one, I've been completely enamored with our daughter. Her name's Nora Grace. Yeah. And that's been great. The tough part is having to work as being a dad. I was thankful to be able to take some time off on the front end to really build that bond with our daughter and with my wife, with the newborn. But now that I'm back to work, it's been challenging being away, because I want to be there for every milestone and, right, see every smile and every movement, but you got to balance it. And it's even tougher with this work from home situation. I've been working from home for over a year now, and having them upstairs having fun while I'm down here working, it's been a challenge.
Well, good. I want to encourage you on that destination to hang in there. Look at it. You turned out pretty good there, bro.
Hey, great mentors, great parents, great family. And I just hope I can pass that on to my daughter.
That's all right, Ryan. Well, I appreciate your time, man. This has been wonderful and rich, and I can't wait to be able to share this with others so they can hear about, a destination. It's great seeing young people who have answered God's call. We all know that it's all a calling on our life, and your call is for law to impact people, and I love what you said about having that seat at the table. How important that is. Now you're at the table to make an impact, to make a difference, and there's somebody watching you. There's some young guys behind you that you're giving back to them, being that example,
definitely
opening that door for them, kind of setting the table. So I'm proud of you, man. I'm really proud of all that you're doing, and I just appreciate you being a guest on the show.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on, Tim. It really is an honor to help out. I love what you're doing with this video series, and I look forward to your future videos of other guests as well.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Be blessed. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.